This is the second part of Vue.js Yii2 REST API Nodes application, and in this part I'm going to focus on building Nodes application with only Vue.js. We're going to create Nodes application and we're going to create login and registration simple forms. Okay, so let's start building Vue.js Nodes application, and for this we will need a couple of more packages to be installed in the Vue.js project. But first, let's have a look at the project skeleton structure and let's clean up some things. Okay, let's open up Vue, and we have here Hello World component, which we don't need, and let's remove that Hello World component completely. Okay, I'm going to also clean up the styling for the app, and let's go to the components, and we need to delete that Hello World component also. Okay, and we don't also need that logo. Cool. Now we need to start creating Nodes application. Okay, so let me first focus on the Nodes application side, and then we will install a few more things such as router, for example. Okay, I'm going to create Nodes component. I will need to create node component also for single node. And I will need also to create add new button component. Okay, and in the nodes component I'm gonna include all of them. Actually, I have a vanilla JavaScript nodes application created, and I'm gonna use that application's styling. Okay, so let's go to the GitHub. Go to the repositories, and here I have, where's it? Vanilla.js nodes. Okay, and I'm going to take some skeleton and naming of the classes from here. Okay, I'm going to take the node manager as CSS, take everything. Okay, and this is actually a Sass, and we don't have installed Sass in our project, and we need to do this. Okay, so before I paste my copied CSS, let's install Sass. For this, we need to run npm install -d to install as a dev dependency node. First, we need to install Sass loader and node Sass. Okay, let's wait. Okay, I'm going to paste my CSS right here in the nodes component. And first of all, I need to change the style attribute language into SCSS. Okay, we can leave it scoped, but we need to change a few more things. Okay, so we have this TC nodes wrapper, and let's create TC nodes wrapper div. Okay, then here we have add new button. Let me start the server and collapse the terminal. Okay, so we have here this add new button, and I'm gonna move the styling of this into add new button component right here, and we need to again add here language as CSS, and the button should have class new node btn. Okay, new node, just like this. What else do we have? Here we have TC nodes, and we have TC node. I'm going to copy the TC node and put it in the nodes.view, and again we need to change this language into SCSS and create here a div with TC node, and we need some skeleton also to take from my vanilla JavaScript nodes application. Okay, so I'm going to go to the node.js, and this is the skeleton, so I'm going to take this one, paste right here, and that's skeleton. Okay, now let's go to the nodes component, and here we have here TC nodes wrapper, and I'm gonna include add new button just like this, and I'm gonna create TC nodes div, and inside there I'm gonna iterate over the nodes. Okay, so v4 node in nodes, and I'm going to create nodes data right here for now. Return nodes to be an array, and actually I'm going to copy that nodes also. Okay, so this will be, where will it be? It will be in demo, I guess, demo app.js, and here I have nodes. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and paste right here. So we are iterating over nodes. Let's add here key to be index, and we need to use that index also. All right, so, and we need to use that nodes component in the app view component. Okay, so let's use nodes right here, and let's have a look in the browser. Okay, so we have probably some error, or we just need to reload it, and here we go. So we have here all styling, but we have some errors. Okay, that's probably because in the nodes component we are using title and body. Okay, so let's do like this. From the nodes component, I'm gonna give a node object, the whole node object, and in the node component I'm gonna accept it as a prop. Okay, inside props I'm gonna accept node, and its type should be an object, and it is required true, just like this. Okay, let's reload it again, and yeah, we need to also change this node title and node.body. Okay, so that's already cool. So we have successfully created a really basic, nice looking form. So we have a close button right here, and in vanilla JavaScript nodes I was using font awesome icon, including using CDN, but for now we don't have font awesome included, so I'm gonna just put here an X. Okay, let's do like this. Okay, and when I click these buttons it must delete the node. Okay, so let's listen to that button click. Okay, I'm gonna add click event listener, which we'll call delete node method, and I'm gonna declare this inside methods, delete node. And actually this node component should not delete node. Instead we can tell the parent, okay, that this event happened and the parent can delete the node. Okay, so this emit delete node, and we can pass this node, which node to be deleted. Okay, so let's go to the nodes component, and from here we can listen on delete node. Okay, this event, and we can call local delete node method, and we need to declare this method also, delete node, and this will accept node as an argument. And for now we can easily delete this node from the array. Okay, so I'm going to show this first on the array, and then we will use API. Okay, so this nodes splice from the nodes array, we need to remove this nodes index of node 1. Okay, from this index just delete one element from the nodes array. Okay, so that's that should work. When I click the button, it deletes the nodes. Okay, let's reload the page, and let's go to the nodes, and yeah, we need to handle also creating of node and updating of node. Okay, so let's go to the add new button and add an event listener right here. Click add node. Okay, and we need to declare that inside methods. Let's declare a node, which will also emit an event add node. Okay, and the parent can listen to that add node. Let's call local method add node, and inside the methods I'm gonna declare that method add node, which will do the following. In the nodes array, it's gonna unshift an object which has title as an empty string and body as an empty string also. Okay, so let's have a look. When I click the button, it creates empty nodes. Okay, already awesome. And we need to handle update also. Okay, so these two areas, title and body, are content editable right now, which means you can type whatever you want there, but this doesn't actually update the nodes array. Okay, this doesn't do this. So we need to handle this. First, how should we do this? So we have we need to listen to the change. In best case, we need to listen to the change of this node's title. But whenever later we will send that information to the API, on every change, making request is not probably good. So let's listen to the blur event. Okay, so when this blur happens, note, let's create a method title changed. Okay, and let's implement this method. Okay, title changed, and we need to take the value, okay, when this happens. Okay, let's accept here an event, and let's print that event. Actually, I'm gonna print that event and also hit the debugger. Okay, when title was changed to this. And here my ESLint complains about unexpected debugger. Okay, so this can be actually fixed. So by default, this warning comes from ESLint, and it doesn't expect debugger to be used. And we need to go to the package.json and go to the rule section, and here we can write no debugger set to off. Okay, so we're telling this ESLint that don't complain about the debugger anymore. Okay, we need to save this and restart the run the npm run serve, and let's reload the page, and here we see. Okay, now let's change the title, and on blur it calls that title changed, and we have event. Okay, and the event, let's see the printed event. The event has, what does it has target. Okay, and from the target we can actually take the inner HTML. Okay, let's do like this. So again, we need to tell the parent emit note updated. Okay, and we need to pass this note, but we need to change this note title to be event target inner HTML. Okay, let's do like this, and let's listen to the note updated event from the parent. Okay, so I'm gonna delete that console login debugger. Let's go to the notes, and first we need to listen to the note updated. Okay, add note updated, call local method note updated, just like this. We will accept note right here, and let's just print this note. Okay, let's just see. And let's do also the same thing for body change. Okay, so when we have title changed, we have body changed. Let's duplicate this title change actually and call it body changed. And in this case, the note body equals to event target inner HTML, and we trigger the same event for the parent. Okay, and let's save this and have a look in the browser. Okay, so type something on blur. Okay, we have here title, which is actually changed. Okay, so let's add something there. We have new note object, and the title is changed. Let's test for a body. Okay, here we have the body object, and it has also body changed, which is awesome, which is exactly what we wanted. Okay, so here, to be like a more correct, we can take that object and push it inside the nodes array, or we need to make a request to the API in best case. Okay, so let's do like this. But before we do like this, we need to install Axios. Okay, so which is probably the most popular package to make requests. Okay, let's run npm install Axios -s to save in the package.json, and we need to also install Vue router. Okay, to have login and registration pages. Okay, Axios was already installed, and let's call Vue add router. Okay, there are uncommitted changes. Still proceed? Yes, let's proceed. And this will make some changes in our project. Okay, it will change the main.js, it will generate new files. Let's use history mode, and it will do some other stuff also. And we need to clean up the code after running this. Okay, so let's have a look what it actually did. First change made in main.js. So it imported the router and passed it in the Vue application instance. Okay, and it also created that router. Okay, it imported some packages from Vue and Vue router and created routes right here for home and about, and exported that router from this file. And it also created a home and about Vue files, which we don't need. We can actually make home to be the default for nodes, but we don't need about. Okay, so we need to clean up the code right now. Okay, let's go to the app view first of all, and what we have here. So it added some styles, which we also don't want. It created that router links for navigation, and let's have a look in the browser. Okay, here we have one more ESLint option. Actually, we need to start the server, and we had that warning. Okay, now we have different warning. So that complains about the hello world component, which we deleted. Okay, and it is used in the home page right now, home view. Okay, let's remove that hello world component completely again and have a look. So we have home and we have about. Okay, and the navigation works absolutely fine. And we need to do now like this. In the home right here, we can use nodes component. Okay, and we don't want about. Note is defined but not used in the nodes component. Okay, that's happened because here I'm including nodes but don't using. We can also suppress such kind of warnings. Okay, sometimes I just want to declare the variable and use it later. Okay, so we have here no unused vars, and let's go to the package.json and type here no unused vars, and let's turn off this also. Okay, and let's start the Vue.js server, reload the page, and we don't see this warning anymore. So we have a home page, which will be nodes page, and we have about, but we don't want about. Instead, we need to have login page and registration page. Okay, let's create these two pages. Okay, let's delete the about and let's create login, and let's create registration. Okay, so actually okay, these are okay. I will get back to this. So in the router, I'm gonna create login and registration roles. But before I do this, I need also logout possibility. Okay, so I'm gonna create in the components. Okay, let's create like this. In the layouts, I'm gonna create two layouts. One will be default layout, and one will be auth layout. Oops. Let's create auth layout. Okay, and the default layout will have navbar also. Okay, so let's create one element, default layout. Okay, and we need navbar. Okay, and let me create that navbar in the layouts folder also, navbar, and we need to use that. Actually, I need to create component, not the folder. Navbar. Okay, so, and I'm gonna use that navbar in the default layout. Okay, navbar, just like this, and then we have here router view. Okay, so we need to use nested view. Okay, I will explain all these things in a moment. And for navbar, I'm going to actually take some styling. Let's go to the navbar, and right here I'm gonna create one div, and we're gonna write welcome in the user username, whatever it is, and then I'm gonna put here one anchor link with a logout text, and I'm gonna listen to its event, click event, and call the logout. Okay, and we need to declare that inside methods right here. I'll write console log right here, logout, just like this. What else do we need? We need also props. Okay, so I'm gonna accept user from the props. It must be an object. Okay, and this user must be given from the default layout from here. Okay, so we need to pass here user to be user, and we need to declare that user right here. User to be, let's return an object where user is an empty object. Okay, so basically what we need to do is we need to make a request from this component default layout, get the current user information, set it right here, and that information will be passed down to the navbar component, and it will display welcome the username. Okay, we will do this a little bit later, but for now I'm going to just take the styling of the navbar. I'm going to quickly copy that, go to the layouts, navbar, and paste this right here. We need to set language to be CSS. Okay, so here we have a navbar, and let's go to the router. Okay, now we need to change the router. Okay, whenever the path is slash, we can name it default, and the component should be in this case default layout. Okay, whenever the path is auth, we can name it auth. This name is optional and it's just the root name, and we need to use auth layout component. I'm gonna remove that lazy loading stuff and just write here auth layout. Okay, and we need to declare child routes for default layout and for auth layout. Okay, so in the auth layout we will need two children. Okay, one will be for login. Okay, we can give it also name login, and the component must be login component, and second one will be for registration. Path will be register, name will be register, and component will be registration. How is it called? How did we call registration? Okay, let's leave it registration. Okay, and in the default layout we need to use one child as a home page as a child. Okay, so inside children I'm going to write path to be home, name to be home, and the component to be home component. And we need to do also right here, whenever the path is slash, we need to redirect it to the home. Okay, let's do like this, and down below we need to write also two more things. Okay, so whenever the path is slash login, that's also handy, let's redirect it to the auth slash login. Okay, let's put slash here, and second one will be the similar thing. Whenever is path register, let's redirect to the auth register. Okay, and let's open that login and just write here login, and let's open that registration and write here register. Okay, and let's test this in the browser. Okay, so we don't have about, we have slash, and whenever we access slash it goes to the home page. The template route requires exactly one element inside the auth layout, so we have auth layout absolutely empty. Okay, so let's create auth layout t right here and put router view just like this. Okay, so now it works. We have the navbar welcome something. When we access the slash, it redirects to the home, which is good. And what about login? Okay, so when we access login, it stays there, and we have that home and about. Okay, if we go to the index, do we have any errors? No, we don't have. Okay, so let's put slash right here. So when we access login, it must redirect to the auth login. Okay, so this is auth. Okay, it should work. Okay, let's save this. And here we go. So it worked. So when we access login, we are redirected to the auth login. When we type there register, we are redirected to the auth register, and we see that register. Why do we see that home and about? Where does this come from? We have this inside app view. Okay, so let's remove that and we are good. So we have register, we have login, and more importantly we have homepage. And this button is halfly visible. Okay, let me apply some basic stylings. Okay, so I'm going to copy these things and put it in the app. Okay, so we are applying some basic styling like box sizing. We're importing Roboto font and applying it, and we need to do a few more things in the default layout. That already looks a little bit better, but we need to apply some padding top from the in the default layout. Okay, so here let's write lang as CSS, and for default layout let's add padding top. Because the navbar is fixed, we need to add padding top like 50 pixels something. Okay, so just like this. And in the nodes component, where is the nodes component? Right here. In the nodes component we can add some kind of general padding 30 pixel. Okay, much better. Okay, clicking the button creates new nodes. We trigger the update, which is not printed right now, but delete also works. And we have logout button. When we click on this logout button, we need to actually logged out and go to the login page. Okay, so now let's implement login and registration pages. Okay, so I'm going to take the HTML from login and explain this. Okay, so this is really simple form with div and text, and we have here a couple of properties which we need to declare inside the data. Okay, and I'm going to declare this and explain this. So we have form, which is an empty object, and let's put here username to be an empty and password to be an empty string. Okay, and we need to have errors. Okay, so if there will be some error during login, this errors array will be populated and it will be displayed. And we need, obviously, inside methods, we need login method. Okay, and we can just print this form for now. Okay, just like this, login. Okay, so let's go to the login page, and this is how it looks like. It's ugly because we need to copy some styles. Actually, I could have written the styles in the style tag of this login component, but I decided to put this in the auth layout, and simply because registration and login page will have the same design. Okay, and I don't want to repeat my CSS and write in both login and registration components, so I decided to put this in the auth layout, and let's give it a language as CSS, and we don't need it to be scoped. Okay, so let's remove that scoped, and this is how it looks like. Okay, and now let's explain the login component. Okay, so we have that errors empty object, and if errors exist, we show that errors, and my mistake is probably that we need to set this into null. Okay, so whenever errors is set, we need to display that errors, iterate over the errors and display them. Then we have two inputs, input type text and input type password with username and password, and we have that button. By clicking on the button, it calls the submission, it causes the form submission, and we have here the prevent to prevent the default, and it calls finally login method. Okay, and that login method will print right now login in the form data, and we have that click to register link, which will navigate us to the registration page. Okay, this is how our form looks like. Okay, I think it's better than it was before. So when we click that register, we are redirected to the registration page. And now let me take the code for registration. Okay, go to the registration, paste right here, and we need to do the similar things. Okay, so let me copy, and actually I'm going to copy the whole data. Okay, so we have form, username, password, and we have password repeat. Also, we have really simple registration form, nothing complicated. Okay, and the same thing happens right here, so I'm not gonna explain this. Okay, this is our registration page. Click to login, click to register, and whenever we will be registered, we will be redirected to the home page. And that's basically most of the things about Vue.js part. Okay, not the fully Vue.js part, but I mean the user interface part. Okay, so we have logout button, we have adding notes, removing notes, we have note update, we have login and registration pages. There will be more work on Vue.js side when we start integrating with the API. We will have to use the Axios, which we installed, to make requests. Then we will have to have interceptor in the Vue.js project. Okay, so whenever the server returns with status code 401, we need to redirect user to the login page. Okay, and we need to do a few more things to make application much better. Okay, so that's all about Vue.js part. Let's move on now and create REST API for login, registration, removing, deleting, reading notes, and let's do this.